Thank you. Well, my name is Jose Luis Medina. I'm a content creator, videographer, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Studios, Disney Studios, and us creators is the community of the videographers, content creators, actors. 16 years old when I left high school and I started working in construction as a laborer. I saw the email. I was like, nah, this is gonna be a scam. And I didn't reply. I was like, why me? So when I see the email, I ignore it. Well, you know what? I was like, I can actually tell if I go in their email and if it says at Disney.com, it's gonna be official, right? I go click the down arrow and I see all this people tagged on the email, Disney.com. Disney. I was like, oh my God, I made them wait. What? So right away, I reply, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just saw this email. I am so sorry. Being a dad is one thing, but being a father is another thing.
Yeah.
Being there is one thing, but being present is something else. We watch movies. I have the best relationship with my son.
I get you, dog. I get you, bro.
Be whoever you want to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IAmVoz podcast. And thank you for being here because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be here with us right now, listening to us, whether it's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, whether it's on Alexa, wherever it is. Thank you very much because thanks to Collie Studios. Right now, I have a very important guest. Oh man, actually, you're a IAmVoz celebrity, brother. Let me tell you. I've been talking about you for a couple of weeks. You can ask Sergio. I'll be like, man, I know Luis, and I know you as Luis Milan because your Instagram handle. But Luis Medina, right? Luis Medina, brother, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Collie Studios, for presenting the IAmVoz podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for calling Studios for also, let us be here with you.
Brother, and it's such an interesting story. It's such a pleasure to have you here at the podcast because I really want the world to get to know you. Maybe you're are you shy? Are you a private person?
No.
Oh, I'm so happy because I really want the world to know the Luis Medina that I got to know in a crazy event.
No, thank you, man.
But I'll allow you to introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Thank you. Well, my name is Jose Luis Medina. I'm 37 years old. I'm from Mexico, Puerto Peñasco, Sonora. I'm a content creator, videographer, and cinema influencer. Yeah, that's what I do.
And you just say it's so simple, like that's what I do. But we're gonna get deep into a lot of the things. You work with incredible companies, right?
Yes.
You work with a lot of important companies on the industry, which are
Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Studios, Disney Studios, MetaQuest, and no, I don't want to be naming off, but something like that,
And no, man, and very, very proud, for somebody to represent our work, to represent the creative side of the industry the way that you do. I follow your content. I follow the work that you do, brother, and believe me, it's very admirable because people might see it as fun, right? Especially nowadays, they think that this job is really, really fun, which it is, but they don't realize the hard work that it takes. And before we even get and dive deep into the big name companies and everything like that, which you deserve a lot of credit, brother.
No, thank you.
I want to tell people how we met.
Okay. So the way we met is actually through a friend. I believe it was Franco?
Yes.
Franco, right? Franco Milan.
Uh-huh.
Which people think we're cousins, but Milan is actually his real last name, and mine is my production company that I started a long time ago. So Luis Milan, that's how you find me on social media. So I had an event, and the DJ that I had canceled on me last minute.
Damn DJs.
And I was asking to find somebody, not just anyone, because for the type of event that I already had in mind and everything, I needed somebody with the energy, with the portfolio and the curriculum, with everything that I needed, you know? So when he messaged me, he's like, hey, let me introduce you to somebody that might be able to help you. He's actually pretty good. His personality is amazing. Actually runs a wrestling promotion, and he's an entrepreneur all over around. And I'm like, really? He does all this? And so then that's how he introduced us, I believe, through text message. And then when you started talking on the phone, and I got to know you right there. They literally believe the day before of the event or 2 days before the event. And then,
the day before. It was the day before, yeah.
It was the day before. And then the next day, we met, and absolutely a pleasure. You were just a kind guy, a really, really amazing and fun guy. I remember the name I gave you, remember? Sin Diesel.
Yeah.
And that was a classic right there. But you were, because everybody's like, oh, we got Vin Diesel. I'm like, no, that's Sin Diesel.
Sin Diesel.
So I was pretty excited to have you. The energy, the music you put, it was a vibe. Everything was a vibe. I felt like I was in the club and everything. So that's how we met. It was actually through a friend. And you actually were a sponsor in one of my first creative event, actually.
Your first creative event. That was an amazing event. And the company is called Us Creators.
Yes.
What a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Us Creators. One of the things that I remember is that when Luis told me a little bit of what was happening, the first thing that I relate to is people canceling even on the events that I'm doing. When people cancel, and the pressure of running an event, the pressure of trying to put such a high quality production, especially in the industry. Okay. When you do an event for the audience, for the public, there's a lot of room for adjustments.
Yes.
But when you do an event for people in the industry, like other influencers, other videographers, brother, they can see through the smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I understand the pressure. When Franco told me that this event was going to happen, this creator event, and the DJ had canceled, and then I remember that we texted. I picked up the phone and I just called you.
Yep, right away.
I picked up the phone and I just called, just like, hey, so what are the details, man? What are the times? What's going on? What do we need to do? And I remember I was actually already booked for that day. I was already booked for that day. And before I called you, they called me and they rescheduled for a week later.
So everything worked out perfectly.
It was crazy.
So it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And it was also, I do real estate and I help a lot of people, buy houses, sell houses, and all the real estate investment and everything like that. There is a realtor lady that showed up to your event that, thanks to your event, we were able to create a little bit of a relationship and trust.
Really?
And we didn't know this, but that morning of your event, I went to show some houses, right, with my client Martin. No, it's not that Martin. It's a different Martin. With my client Martin and his family, and we show up to this house, and this girl, this realtor, has her Instagram information on the for sale sign on the property. And I'm like, oh my God, like nobody does that. Instead of her number, she has her Instagram code and the handle. So I call her and I'm like, hey, we just saw the house. My clients loved it. We're probably gonna submit an offer. By the way, I just saw your realtor sign outside. Wow, that's such a good idea. Like straight up, I just followed you on Instagram. And I'm also trying to build some rapport, right? I really want to win this house for my clients. She was at your event, and 1 hours later, which now that I think it, maybe from her perspective, might be kind of creepy. But
did he follow me?
Did he follow me here? Later that night, when I see her in person, I learned that one of the videographers that works with you is the one that does all the content for her.
Yeah.
Long story short, I can't remember her name right now. Do you remember her name?
I think it starts with J or something like that.
Yes. We'll come back to her
Yeah,
name,
we'll
but
come
we'll
back
come back to her
find
name.
the right-
But
I can actually find the
thanks
right-
to that, I went and I got to tell her in person. It's like, we're gonna send you this offer, this and that. Long story short, we did go on the contract, and my client did purchase that house, and her clients actually accepted that contract. I'm pretty sure that the sequence of events helped build that credibility.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So by me volunteering to your event,
Open more doors.
open more doors. Like, how do you
Even
plan this?
third people got like their pretty much their dream come true. Third people, even because I mean, obviously you got to make a relationship with this realtor, and then you put an offer in, and then your clients also were happy, not because of the event, but everything just worked out. Which is crazy.
But tell me a little bit about this event. Let's talk a bit, because it's such a story. We can do a full podcast on everything that happened on this event. But, talk to me a little bit about us creators. What is the theme? What was the intention of the event? What was the delivery? By the way, before we even start, because I know you're very tough on yourself, let me tell you that the event was a complete success.
Thank you.
I was mind blown by the energy that was there. Everybody that I met, pretty much I'm still in touch with them through social media. I follow them. I support their videos. They follow me back. They send me messages.
Awesome.
So whatever your intention was, which I would like you to explain it in a second, let me tell you that it worked wonders.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for asking me those questions, because not everybody does. Us creators has a lot of meaning to me, because I wanted, when I created this name, the word creator, I literally have it tatted on me, like right here. It means, the word creator means so much to me. I launched some merch back in 2020, 2021. Sold out. It's been connected to me, the word creator, so much. I relate too much a lot with astronauts, and like this, like people wearing like this space suits and stuff. Why? Because it's like they're built, and they go educate themselves so that they can be out of this world. Not to learn what is in this world, is to be out of this world. So I apply that into what the creators are. Like creators, we are here to learn, but we shouldn't be learning just things inside the box. We should be thinking outside the box, outside the sphere. You know what I mean? So we can find that growth and find new resources, and that's basically the same thing. So I was like, when somebody one time, I don't remember who, they're like, "Hey, you creators with them?" And I was like, "Yeah, us creators." And that's how the us creators came out. And I was like, United States creators, us creators, perfect. It works out. And that's how I started. That's literally my website as well, uscreatorsmedia.com. And us creators is where the community of the videographers, content creators, actors, TikTokers, whoever makes content and they want to learn, they want to grow. That's how we use that name, and we relate it to everything else. So it's basically just a group of people trying to learn, trying to grow out of the sphere and think outside the box, basically.
Wow. Well, that's very meaningful, right? And the word creator carries such a powerful weight and such a responsibility. I was gonna post something the other day. I'm gonna have to post it now. I like to post just whatever's on my mind. And look how beautiful design social media is. When I'm gonna post something on Facebook, yes, you can tell my generation by starting off with Facebook and not Instagram or TikTok. Starting out with Facebook, it says, "What's in your mind?" Right? When you're gonna make a post, what's in your mind? I think people like us, brother, we're born with a beautiful disease. A beautiful disease that our mind never stops creating one way or another. Right? And I love to put it that way. One, because I'm a DC Comics fan guy, so my mind is also more on the darker side than on the Marvel side. But, but because to the world, to the perspective of the world, people like us, sometimes we're not very welcome. People that are very highly creative or anything like that, or very outside the box, usually we don't fit in the box, right? We don't fit in the box. We were just talking right before this, the moment when you became a freelancer, when you decided I'm going to work on my time by myself, without depending on being employed or anything like that, which we'll get into it. But brother, it's also such a blessing. So, and when you tell me the name Us Creators, it just has a very powerful weight to it.
No, thank you.
You know, what is the plan for Us Creators? What is your vision for it?
You asked me at the beginning of the podcast if I was a little shy. I'm not. So I'll probably kind of share a little bit of the plans that I have. Probably nobody has heard. Probably just my internal team. So what I have in mind is right now I'm working but I'm working with so many sponsors like Rode, brands that are related to media and stuff. So what I want to do is keep building the name up as a representative of the name, build it up to I can gain the trust to bring funds and create like a short film, fest, where like I inspire others, create a movie about a certain person, like something inspirational. Somebody can talk about somebody, I don't know, if you had cancer and you survived. Somebody about someone that came from another country and then they're successful, or just create films about real people. And then from there, the winner gets a certain prize. Then from there, move on into the documentary stuff that we were talking about. From there, we're gonna obviously go out and reach out to sponsors, sell the film pale probably, which is most likely what's gonna happen. So basically, the community, I don't want it to stay stuck, even though it seems like it might be stuck at one point because I'm pushing myself and doing other things, and then I haven't done another event. But the thing is that I have so much love for what happened that day that I don't just want to burn it out. I know communities that do events often, and sometimes are really not successful and then controversial because it's just hunting money. And I don't want to be in that situation. I want to be able to bring the value first and find the value before start charging or before and start promoting. I want to have the value first. So
it becomes generic, right? Like
yes,
it
really
becomes
generic. Yeah. So first the value. What can we offer that nobody has offered you, or what can you learn? And just like you did, you connected with somebody and so many influencers and so many people there. I also have I have a chat like in Instagram where I have probably 70 creators, and then in that chat they've been able to connect with each other because they say that this profession, this career is so lonely because you're always recording or shooting by yourself. So they have been able to create together and create films together and work together. So basically that's what we're trying to do, is just create a community and then offer opportunities. Out of who did the best job out of all of this? Well, this guy. Well, man, you're just going to be my second camera, or you're going to be here traveling with me to this huge event, which is going to be also huge for you. I want to give and extend the opportunity to you. So basically just reward those that actually want it. You know what I mean? So that's basically it, man.
He just said it like super simple, like, oh no, that's pretty much on a bullet point. That's pretty much what it is. But wow, no, it actually is a lot of work, right? Such as we were talking about the event. The venue got canceled for that event.
Yeah.
You had to move it. I believe it was in a studio somewhere in the second floor. Yeah. And then you have good connections. You and your family have good connections, and you guys ended up doing it at the beautiful ballroom on Legends, which I came in and I was impressed. Now, there's two perspectives. The one that you as a producer and me as kind of the audience, I didn't know what's going on. And I was mind blown, brother. I was mind blown by the people that were there, the sponsors, and the good turnout that they have, and how much the influencers were supporting each other. But now we're going to go through the drama nightmare side of what you went through, which is pretty much every event, every production has those, has those setbacks, and you got to adapt and overcome, you know what I mean? But you did walk us through the journey, man.
So basically the day of the event was supposed to happen. The day of the event, I was ready to go. I was getting a haircut. The event was set up. We were supposed to start setting up at like 4. I was getting my haircut by like 1, and the studio emails me, hey, you know what? The AC's out. And take in consideration, this is the middle of June. It's like it's pretty hot already. So they're like, oh, the AC is not working properly. So we're trying to work on it. I was like, what are you gonna do about it? Trying to figure it out. Then he tell me like, oh, we're gonna, just because we're trying to move you, we're gonna find somebody for you, whatever. They didn't try to help with anything. They just, or I was even expecting like, if me as a business owner, at least if I would have had a studio, I would have been like, you know what, guys, we're sorry, we're gonna sponsor your next event just because this was what's happening right now. So
Yeah.
but they didn't offer anything. It's just like there's nothing we can do. And then I was like, oh my goodness. And I was breaking my head. I'm like, the day of, how am I going to send everybody an email?
Hours.
How do I, hours, literally hours, 2 or 3 hours, 2 hours before the event, 2 or 3 hours. I was like, man, how am I going to message people? Are they going to see it? And then a good friend of mine, David, he's like, hey bro, you should have their email when they signed up for their entries. I was like, okay, I'm going to try this on. Boom, boom, boom. Send an email, send it twice. And all of a sudden, we got probably 90% of the people attended. So I was like, wow, everybody got the email. Everything worked out. The sponsors were so amazing. Some sponsors, they wanted to be. As a matter of fact, and this is one thing that some sponsors, for example, just like you, and the sponsors, they had a way more planning. I offered them a package where like, okay, well, I'm going to have your logo on the banner, this and that. But then once I started seeing that more people wanted to be a part of it, like, giving food, giving this, giving that, and offering, their services. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody deserves a spot in the banner. Everybody deserves credit, not just because they're searching for an upper. No, everybody deserves credit. So thanks to everybody, because it wasn't just me. I was just the head of it, but everybody helped me put it together. Honestly, my team, Kevin, Brian, Diego, my wife. Yaneli, which then was the assistant that day, she did an amazing job. You as a DJ, pretty much emceeing the whole event, which is pretty nice, man. It was a lot of work, but that's one thing that not everybody does it for a reason. Not everybody is willing to take a challenge for a reason, because it's just way too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what separates us and separates ones from others,
The variables, right? The variables and how you manage that. At the end of the day, brother, let me tell you, we were all very proud of you.
Oh, thank you, man.
Because we didn't find out what went wrong until you told us at the very end of the show. Good call, by the way. Very strategic. At the end of the show, you explained on the mic, really, like, hey, this is everything that went wrong, and we made it happen. Wow, it was mind-blowing.
Yeah, when we're picking up.
Right. And you had a lot of prizes and a lot of support for all the content creators, right? You made a contest, like, okay, we're gonna do a rogue. What was it? Was it a road commercial
Road Mic Pros? It was a new model,
right?
That they sent me, yeah.
And you had all participate on it. It was really fun. It made us get outside the box, right? And you know what? It made us feel connected and meet people that are in the same industry, because like you said, entrepreneurship, it's a very lonely industry, right? Not a lot of people can go home and have the conversation of what happened, why it happened with their family, because their family might not understand, their family might not be related to that, they're not related to the field, they're not related to the way of life, and it becomes a very lonely road, which discourages a lot of people, right? But man, when you connect in a community with like-minded people, the power of networking, right? Relationships that happen there. As in my case, being able to get one of my best clients, one of the families that I've helped the most in real estate, get them into their second home, and got our offer accepted by building credibility. And maybe this realtor saw who, what was I about, right? And she got to see me in person. She got to feel that energy. And she said, like, you know what? If my client asks me about this offer, I'm going to tell them that, yeah, I trust the realtor. Because that's what we do. We consult,
Yep.
And that's something that I love here, brother. Here on Coley Studios, here on Coley Studio, I like the way that they take on challenges. And have you ever heard of Coley Studio?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Oh, brother, let me tell you, they started the company on February of last year, I believe, right after the new law for Arizona changed or got modified, where it allows homeowners to be able to build an accessory dwelling unit, casita, on their backyards, as long as they fit the space, as long as all this stuff happens.
Yeah.
So that's huge because, as you know, we're having a huge housing crisis in Arizona.
Yeah.
So many people moving in.
Yep.
So much work coming into the state, into Maricopa, into Phoenix, that now we have the population got to be like, 4 point something million, right? And there's like a housing crisis out there. Brother, my experience by watching these people work and the testimonials that I'm getting for people is talking about adapting and overcoming. They are getting people from point A, where yes, I'm interested in having a casita. They walk them through the whole process on financials, on how does it work. They go take a look at the property. They check to see if it's even possible. Then they move to the next step, and they take care of all the inspections. They take care of everything, which sounds good.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing, if people was to do this by themselves, of dealing with the city, dealing with inspectors, can you imagine the nightmare?
Oh, no.
Most construction companies and most permits and most processes can take, me being on real estate, 1.5 to 2 years to complete a project being well done.
Wow.
Here, they're making it within like 6 months average and getting it done, brother. That's what Coley Studios is.
Wow.
Not only that, they're giving an opportunity to creators just like us to be able to have this opportunity. The IAmVoz podcast. My boy Sergio, he gets to play with his toys all day. Which is one of the dream, right? Is living the dream.
Yep.
And I understand also, brother, you've been working with some big companies. I want to know what that's like. When was the first opportunity that you got to work with like a big company, red carpet, or they called you? What was it for? A movie? Was it for what happened?
So it's crazy because I actually, on my YouTube channel, I have I created like a short documentary about the experience of working with Disney the first time, because I didn't think I was gonna go back. I didn't think I was gonna be back. So I created this little documentary of my experience, how I see myself in Mexico struggling all the way out here to be handpicked and be recording a premiere for Andor, which is Star Wars Andor, starring Diego Luna, which is Mexican. So
whoa. Let's digest that a second. So you got contacted to pretty much cover the event for Andor from Disney.
Yes.
With Diego Luna.
Yes.
Oh, I am hating so much right now. Oh, I'm envious. I have never met Diego Luna in my life, brother. And he's one of my favorite actors, directors. I've been following his work since Y Tu Mamá También, like back then, the Diego Luna. Oh my God. But I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
No, you're good. I understand you because ever since Diego, who doesn't know Diego Luna, right?
Right.
He's one of the pioneers of the Mexican pioneers in Hollywood, So when I saw the email, I was like, nah, this is gonna be a scam. And I didn't reply. I told my wife about it. I didn't reply. I was like, why me? Like, I create content for influencers. I create content for businesses and myself. And we have to talk about it, why I started doing content about myself too in the future right now. But I started to make a mix of content, but never about Hollywood or movies. So when I see the email, I ignore it. I'm like, for 2, 3, 4 days. And then they send me a reminder. Hey, we just wanted to double check if you wanted to. I was like, how can I tell that this is... Well, I was like, I can actually tell if I go in their email and if it says at Disney.com, it's got to be official, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the brand's name. I go click the down arrow, and I see all this people tagged on the email, DZ.com. I was like, oh my God, I made them wait. What? So right away, I reply. I'm like, oh my goodness, I just saw this email. I am so sorry. And then I email them. I'm like, I will be my pleasure. And they're like, right away, as soon as I reply, they were like, probably waiting for me, or I don't know. Right away, 2 minutes later, all right, Luis, we're so glad to have you. We know that you're a Latino, Mexican videographer, content creator. We want to keep it as that. Diego Luna loves this country and is a big step for his career. We want you to make him feel like he's at home. I was like, oh, no doubt. My first language is also Spanish. Like, I told him, and then I was like, we can talk, and then trust me, I'm excited. All right, so this is what we're gonna pay you. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, what?
You're gonna pay me?
I was like, you're gonna pay me? So when I saw the amount, and it's not a crazy amount, but when I saw the amount that they're trying to pay me, cover my flight, cover my drive, my expenses, my hotel and everything, and I'm like, dude, I can't literally avoid shooting a wedding and shoot this content for 2-3 hours and make the same amount of money for just a 40-second reel. And when I was there, and then I was filming. As I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard, I see the street closed, and I'm like, "What? Where am I?" I see a Captain Theater, which is a really iconic theater in Hollywood. It owned by Disney. Says Andor with Diego Luna right there, and I'm like, "Bro." And then I brought my friend that I was telling you about us creators. I give opportunities.
Yeah.
This guy messaged me long time ago, trying to learn, trying to be around, and that nobody had answered any message to him. He wanted to learn, and nobody else answered him. And the one that he thought the least was gonna answer him, it was me, and I answered him. So I brought him into my team, and I brought him with me. He was gonna record me, but then right there, it was a new door where like, hey, can you shoot a second angle? I was, you know what? I'm gonna give you a second angle right now. Go. And he was like, what? I'm going to be second angle for you? And then this, yeah, go, bro, go. And then we killed it. I met Diego Luna walking down next to me. ¿Cómo está, señor Diego Luna? It's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And I hadn't told anybody on my social media. So it was a surprise. The day that I post the first, I shoot the red carpet, and they asked me to start editing the same night and deliver the next morning at 7 a.m. So I'm editing at the hotel and everything. And then I'm like going through emotions, feel the joy. It was an amazing feeling because I didn't know I was going to be back. I thought it was just going to be one experience of a lifetime. And I was going to enjoy it as much as I could. So I'm editing, deliver, and they're like, looks excellent, Luis. We love it. And then right there, I have the green light to post it myself. I post it. Everybody, all my followers, well, most of my followers, they're like, wow, what? From shooting sessions at $30 an hour, from doing this, from doing that. Now you're with Disney. It was a whole surprise. And it brought me so much joy because when I used to work at the warehouse, I just didn't feel to belong there. I wanted to do something else. And I will remember me like working 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day. And now it's like it just goes through my emotions and everything. And then that was the first one, man. And honestly, it was such an amazing experience. The rest is history. Like the rest, I can tell you guys that manifesting works only if you put in the work. Because if you just, I'm going to be great. But if you don't move a finger, you're just speaking into the air. But you got to earn it. You got to go after it. When I delivered my first video, they messaged me. Disney texted me directly, and they're like, the representatives are like, hey, you know what? We're gonna offer you Avatar. The new Avatar is coming out, but we wanna relaunch the first Avatar on 4K. We want to invite you personally to James Cameron's private studio, and we want you to be in the studio and watch the movie 4K and give us a review.
James Cameron.
James Cameron is the director of the Terminator, director of the Titanic, Avatar,
and you getting notified that they would like you to go to his private
Yes,
studio?
private studio. Yes, he has a whole studio for himself. So it's like buildings on buildings, right? And it's like warehouses. And I told my friend, "You want to go?" Yeah. Okay, cover the.
Well, what kind of friend would say no?
I know, right?
I'm so happy to be your friend right now.
So we were there. We got the whole experience.
Amigo.
We got the whole experience of being there. I got to see like the original avatars, the actual figures that they use for their everything in his studio. He has the most expensive projector in the whole United States. And the United States is pretty expensive. So the projector looks everything was amazing. I was still mind blown. I had a call right next to it, right the next day. Hey, we need a videographer and UK. Can you make it? I'm like, bro, like, and it was on the same day that I had a makeup shoot with a brand in LA. I couldn't go to UK because I couldn't break my contract. But at the same time, from there, man, everything started happening. Like I was in Mexico celebrating my birthday, and all of a sudden, hey Luis, so Disney is really happy with your content. We're wondering, you know the actor Tenoch Huerta? I'm like, of course. It's just like our Mexican superhero. It's like it represents Mexicans in Black Panther.
Yeah.
So what would you say if you cover the premiere and the whole direction of the reel for us on the premiere in LA for Black Panther? And I was like, sure.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
but not just that. They're like, how about have you been in Mexico City? I'm like, no. Oh, because the final premiere is going to be in Mexico City at his actual city. So we want to offer you everything paid. We're also going to pay you for everything. And want you to cover the premiere in Mexico City. I was like, what? Like everything started happening after another. So I told my friend right away, my friend, I was like, hey, would you like to go with me? I'm willing to request a flight for you, a daily deem for your expenses, and I'll pay you or whatever you need. Bro, you don't even have to pay me. I can pay my own flight. No. Don't pay your own flight. I'll get you that covered. So
He was like, bro, how much do I owe you?
yeah, exactly. And until this day, my friend is so thankful. And I can tell that my friend is thankful because I met him through social media. Basically, he messaged me, hey, I just want an opportunity. And all of a sudden, I saw his heart. And I was like, you know what? He's new in my circle, but I'm going to give him an opportunity because I see how hard he's working. And since then, man, I've been friends since then. Obviously, he said I can stop being my friend, right? I'm just kidding. But pardon. It was an amazing experience, and then from there, man, I mean, I've been not to make it sound bragging, but I've been blessed to be in other huge titles, bro. Yeah. Like I'm gonna tell you this. I felt on top of the world, which is crazy. When I was shooting a wedding with my team, and all of a sudden they call me, Luis, Disney wants you again, but this time they want you in South Korea and Tokyo. I was like, hold on. I stopped the wedding. Then my guy shooting. I went outside. I was like, what's going on? What's going on here?
I can imagine that.
What's going on here? And then they're like, oh, so we want to take you to South Korea and film the premiere for Avatar, the new Avatar coming out. You're gonna spend the whole day with the actors, vlogging for them, and then shoot the premiere there. I was like, okay, I have my passport, that works. And then I'm like, Tokyo. They wanted me to go to Tokyo. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to Tokyo because they needed me to have 2 COVID shots. And South Korea, I only needed 1, so I had the one right away. But then I couldn't take the other one like the next day. I had to wait 30 days. So for Tokyo, I couldn't go.
Yeah.
But I went to South Korea. I shot it. When I was there in front of everybody, I was like, what am I doing here? Like literally, probably 20 years ago, I was like, in a different country, struggling. And now I'm like right here, like
South Korea, man.
South Korea. And then you can say like anybody can go to South Korea. Yes, anybody can go to South Korea if you have a budget, a vacation. But I was hired for my work.
You got paid.
And got paid. And then from there, they flew me to LA to finish the other premiere. Bro, it was insane. I got to meet so many actors. I got to meet Eugenio Derbez, amazing guy. Every time I see a Mexican around in those films, it gets me excited because he just motivates me.
Yeah, he just represents, of course.
Representing. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I mean, I've had other titles and everything, and I've been so lucky to to build good relationships. And one thing I'm gonna tell you, everywhere that you go, and probably so you can start probably asking more questions, but I want to close this section up with this.
No, please.
Whenever you're working for someone, always do it as best as you can. Obviously, you're like, oh yeah, of course. No, when I mean as best as you can, doesn't mean standing around. To me, I'd rather have more footage and be busy and be sweaty and lo que sea, whatever it takes for me to show who I am and why I am there. So the first two premieres, the premiere of Andor, there was this gentleman next to me always watching my camera. Really serious man, and I thought it was just like out of one person amongst everybody. I was like, oh, probably this is just one regular person looking at the way I'm recording, whatever. But when this person, I met him at the Black Panther Wakanda Forever premiere in LA, one of the Disney representatives comes in and they're like, hey, I want to introduce you to our vice president of social media for Marvel, the Lucasfilms and 20th Century Studios, Mr. Dustin Sandoval. I was like, this is the same guy that was next to me the whole time during Andor, but I didn't know who he was. So the hard work that I put in, he saw it. He's also, his Mexicans also, I mean, his parents also, I think it's the second generation, third generation Mexican. An amazing guy. I learned his respect from that. And bro, it's just an amazing experience. I'm just saying, everywhere you go, do as much as you can and do everything you got because you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching.
Exactly. That's one of the things that's one of the things that I talk a lot about, right? And putting your heart in everything you do, right? And sometimes in the work in the different industries or whatever, we get clients and we're like, oh well, I only get this much commission. I'm only gonna get paid this much. I'm only charging this much, so I'm only gonna do that much, right? But you always do your hardest. You always do your best, no matter what. If you commit to doing something, it doesn't matter even if you say you were going to do it for free. You just put your heart on it, because a lot of times people are not just hiring you by what you can do, but because it's you.
Exactly.
And it's you doing it.
I have learned that, and it's beautiful, man.
And then you learn to charge for that.
Yes.
Then you learn to monetize that yes, you can hire somebody to do exactly what I do, but because it's me, and because I do things a certain way, and because I have a credibility, experience, skills that I have developed that other people might not have, this is my price. Right? And it's so beautiful when you get an email saying, hey, we would like to offer you this. And it's like double what you're trying.
Dude, it was crazy.
It's like, yo, what?
It was crazy.
But brother, I can just imagine. Wait. I'm going to go back real quick. I'm going to rewind the tape. You're at a wedding. This is what I imagine. You're at a wedding. You get a call about going to Tokyo in South Korea for the premiere. I imagine you going like, whoa, hold on, real quick. Hold the spot. What? Oh.
Don't cry yet. Don't
cry yet. Hold on. Let me take this call.
Yeah, that's how it was. I had to tell my team I have to take this call. I was nervous. I was like, how is this process? How am I going to fly all the way out there? What do I need? I know that there's some restrictions on the flights because it was 2022 still.
Yes.
And then like the COVID stuff, so, like some rules. And I was like, how am I going to do this and this and that? And dude, it was, oh my gosh. Like I said, I felt top of the world right there. I felt like I definitely have this as one of my biggest accomplishments being over there. And it was crazy, man. Not so long ago, literally received another opportunity. Oh, I mean, I'm working with them, often. One thing I'm gonna say I'm proud of, and we should be proud of always as Mexicans, as Latinos. And I say this with all love. Be proud of where you come from. Be proud of who you are. As you can see, I have an accent when I speak English. I didn't learn English in high school. All this English you see, all construction, all warehouse. I've been able to be around people that show me a few words. The way sometimes I talk to people, I connect with them because the way you ask questions, so the way you introduce yourself. And one of the things we have to say is you have to be proud of the accomplishments we do and we have. You shouldn't be celebrating always the big ones. Celebrate the small ones too. Disney only hires, for this type of events, only hires 2 or 3 people. To give you a contrast, okay? The other team that shoots for Disney shoots for Louis Vuitton and London. What's it called? The other brand, that's the expensive one for the shoes.
Chanel, Gucci,
Chanel. The other one también que es the other one, what is it called? Balenciaga. Actors all over the world. Those are the guys that they hire. And they hire me. I'm Mexican coming from across the border. Literally came out of working construction. I learned videography through YouTube. It's like, if you do you put us next to each other, they have been in probably way more places, worked with so many great people for so many years. And I'm here. The guy just wasn't supposed to make it, you know. And that's why we should feel proud of everything that we do, man.
Man, you're touching in so many subjects that need to be talked about, that need to be publicized, brother. And I'm happy that this is happening here right now at the IAmVoz podcast, because mark my words, as it's on video, as it's recorded, as it's gonna be published everywhere, brother. One day I'm gonna be looking at a documentary about one of the best people in the industry, or best director, right? Just like Guillermo del Toro, right? But this time, 15 years, 5 years, 2 years, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be seeing Luis Medina.
Oh man,
bro! Like and I'm gonna be like, we had him here. This is where it happened. I can put the footage. I can bring out the footage and be like, we had this guy. He's my friend. I know him. You know what, brother? Let me tell you something that I get and I keep for myself, because it's the way I'm gonna charge you for all the publicity I'm gonna give you. Mm-hmm. I get bragging rights. When I see that work and when I see your work, and I tell everyone like, oh, I know him. He was on my podcast, and nobody believes me. It's gonna be the biggest accomplishment of my life, brother. Hey, bro, like that. And you know what? There's so many things that you're touching on, because you were explaining to me that right before videography, right, you were doing construction. Mm-hmm. You started doing videography and you went totally freelance on 2019. What a time to decide to go freelance. Jesus. My goodness. Right? But what was it like right before? What were you doing right before you went into videography full time and content and us creators? And how was that transition?
Oh man,
what was going through your heart, mind, and soul?
Yeah, so basically, I was I think like 16 years old when I left high school, and I started working in construction as a laborer.
Did you get to graduate high school?
No, I didn't graduate high school.
So you just went straight into work in
construction. And at one point I regretted it. I tried to go back like 2 years later, and I couldn't go back. But I started working construction. I already had my bills going, so I couldn't stop working. I helped in the bills around the house, like everybody, every kid. I was really devoted to church. I was a bass player, also singing in different churches. We brought up churches from the ground up in the music aspect of things, because I'm also a musician. And so I was pretty busy with that. And while working in construction, I became a youth pastor in a church in Kingman, Arizona. From there, I decided to get married, so I moved out here. My wife, my girlfriend was over there, so I decided to worked as security outside of a check cashing place. The check cashing place never gave me a gun or never gave me pepper spray. They only gave me a button to call the police.
In Phoenix?
Yes, in Glendale.
In Glendale.
Yeah, and it was for
No gun, no pepper spray.
nothing. So I
Nunchucks.
had to always be wearing this jacket and pretending that I had something in there. So I'm taking care of the place outside, and then whenever something's going on, I always have to be like this. And I encountered so many people that wanted to jump me, and I didn't have nothing but 2 buttons I have to click, and then the police will arrive. But literally. Hey, I went through that.
You would throw him the button, bro.
Yeah, man. It was wild. It was wild, man. It was wild. And then sometimes I have to work on Fridays, and then I'll finish up at like 10 p.m. But I'll be outside. Sometimes like drunk people will pass by and then throw me beers, and like it will be wild, honestly. And then from there, I went to a warehouse, the warehouse, and then construction. From construction to warehouse, and I was just one regular guy just doing his job. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I need to do something else because I know I have it in me. I didn't just go through all my rough childhood for me to just end up here and not have any desires or any dreams. I can't stop here.
No.
So I started, learning. My sister she had a camera. I stole it from her, took it from her, started learning. And it started, bro. You see my broken English, right? You hear it?
You actually sound really good to me, but then again,
thank you. But I have broken English. My English has a huge accent. I was offered a job as an English teacher.
wow.
I didn't finish high school. I was an English teacher for probably like good 4 or 5 months, and I still encounter those same students on the street, and they call me, "¿Qué onda, teacher? ¿Qué onda, teacher? What's up, teacher? What's up, teacher?" And I'm like, if you only knew, I didn't know what I was doing. But you learned something.
Yeah, you taught them the right thing, which was the intention.
Yeah, they did.
Be intentional.
And be happy. And be happy.
Roll with it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
roll with the punches. A lot of times that's what it takes, right?
Yeah.
And brother, that is such a strong statement because that's literally what you were doing. You were rolling with the punches. You didn't let your soul die or get absorbed by the world. Mm-hmm. And in a personal experience, something that happened to me when I was 21, 22 years old, I was, doing websites, and I was doing entertainment websites, and I had a website called Static Vision, and I was doing entertainment projects, and my mom and would tell me while I was doing promotion, DJing events, and I would struggle sometimes, and she would be like, "Mijo." For those that don't know what that means, is son. Mm-hmm. Son, why don't you just stop dreaming and get yourself a regular job where they're gonna pay you every week, where you can take care of your kids? Because I was a single father. It's a bad combination, man. To be a father, to be a husband, to be a family man with responsibilities, and still be a dreamer. It's such a contrast and a clash and painful that I don't know if the world even knows, right? And she said this to me with the kindest heart. She was crying. She had tears.
Man.
It gives me like
Emotions.
It bottles up my emotions, right? But she told me, and I will never forget this. She's like, she told me in Spanish, sounds sweeter in Spanish, just stop dreaming and get yourself a regular job where you're gonna have that stability and this and that. And because she was worried about me. She really wanted to see me succeed. She didn't want to see me struggling. She didn't want to see me take down this road. Fast forward 22 years later, brother, my mom somewhere along the line became an entrepreneur herself.
Wow.
And she started a real estate business. She owned multifamilies.
Wow.
And she just she tried out owning a trucking company. And this was later on.
Wow.
So I can relate. I can relate exactly through what was going through your mind. You were married. You were doing this. Mm-hmm. You learned videography that took you to Disney, that took you to South Korea, that took you to meeting all these actors, that took you to meeting IAmVoz. I'm just adding that up, wow.
Yeah.
That brought you here to the IAmVoz podcast presented by Calling Studios.
Yes, sir.
Learning videography through YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat. Like I can literally Maria Poya. Mark Bone, just giving you some tips, but those are the ones that tell me a lot, especially Peter McKinnon, man. And yeah.
And what did your family tell you when you decided or how was the transition like when you decided to go full into your business?
So I'm the type of person that once I'm married, my wife's opinion is the most valuable. If my sisters and my friends, whatever, they want to give me their opinions, I'll take whatever I can, but my most valuable opinion is from my wife. So my wife is probably the reason I made it this far. And I can say that because she's been supportive from the beginning to end. She doesn't tell me like a lot of words sometimes. Like she's not like a vocal about her feelings sometimes. But the day that Star Wars posted my video and they tagged me on the bottom, I was on the way to Mexico and I pulled over, started crying, thinking about all the struggles. My wife right there, she hugged me and she gave me the words I will never forget, because she knows the struggles. She knows how much time I was losing without seeing my kids because I was working so much. And man, she's been through a lot. 16 years almost. 16 years married, 18 together almost. So it's been a while. And we met through church. So that tells you a lot. Her dad is a pastor and I was a musician at church. So that, I think God also gave us a lot of hope in our relationship, but she is the one that I value the most, and in matters of advice and points of views with whatever I'm doing and I'm planning. And she's always giving me the green light because she knows my mentality. She knows that I can go after it, and she knows that I can accomplish it. And that's one thing that giving you credibility from the closest one to you, it means the world. And sometimes we might take it for granted, but I always, every time I have a chance to give her recognition, I will, because without her, I wouldn't be here, to be honest.
Yeah. The people around us can definitely make us or break us, right? Mm-hmm. As well, we need to be self-aware of what we say, right? Of what we say. And a lot of times unintentionally, we might kill people's dreams by maybe being too critical or not believing. And we got to be supportive. We just got to be open-minded, right? You never know the effect, right, that you can be having in somebody, especially when you're the significant other, when you're the husband, when you're the wife, when you put somebody down, sometimes unintentionally, right? I think we need to be careful and choose the words that come out of our mouth very carefully, because once they come out, words have power.
Yes,
words
more power than actual violence.
Yes, words are way more powerful, and once they come out into the world, they become real. Mm-hmm. So hearing supportive words from the people that mean the most to you is invaluable. Mm-hmm. And yeah, exactly. Maybe this has now become the husband podcast. I guess I can attest to this, the same thing.
Start having wine and crying and everything.
Yeah. But I can attest to that. In my case, has been very similar. In my case, my wife has been very supportive. In general, the people now around me have been very, very supportive. And the way you guys have handled things through this relationship, I'm support, man. I can just imagine what you guys have gone through as a couple.
Yeah, man.
You know, how do you keep it balanced, brother? How do you try to keep a balance between the universe that you're creating for us creators and everything that entitles, which is Luis Medina within us creators, right? How do you balance that universe and the world at home?
Yeah, that's such a good question. One thing is that I reserve. So I come from a family where obviously we probably most that we come to this country, we come with dreams, right? My mom brought us here. We were being persecuted by my dad. He was a violent man. He was making our lives a living hell. We moved to this country. My mom just started working. And she's always been a hard worker. You know her. Mm-hmm. She's been a hard worker. And But one thing that my mom really sacrificed is time with us when we were growing up, because she had to work, and I completely understand. Sometimes I can be judgmental about it. Sometimes I'm not the perfect son because I touch topics that maybe I shouldn't be touching, but I don't want my kids. I didn't want my kids to go through the same thing. So whenever I have the chance, we go eat. We sit down and everybody watch a movie like at least once or twice a week. We watch movies. I have the best relationship with my son.
I get you, dog. I get you, bro.
So with that being said, I have the great relationship with my son, and means the world to me, my daughters, and but that communication that I have with my son about everything, man, it just opens a new, how can I say it, like a new superpower, I can say, because if he talks to me about certain things, I become his superhero because talking to me about it, you know? So I don't want to get too much into the family side of things, but I try to stay together and then talk about everything, talk about issues, talk about the communication within my kids and my wife and myself, be together all the time, so we don't go through the same thing that I went through. That maybe I should have had more communication with my mom when I was growing, and my mom should have put in, you know. But my mom had that was her job right there. Yeah, I'm here because of her, you know. And now it's my responsibility to change that course of that generational.
Amen.
And now it's try to like invest in the things that she couldn't invest in.
Yeah,
you know.
Amen.
So now is like I said, the balance is perfect right now. I work from home, which makes it a lot easier. I see my daughters and my wife all the time. Whenever we order pizza and watch TV, we talk, make jokes, we dance and we sing, whatever. But that's it, man. It's just communicating and then investing. Literally finding that time is so valuable because, bro, time flies.
Yeah.
Right now, my youngest is gonna start kindergarten, and just thinking about it, that she's not gonna be at home every morning anymore. I mean, not every morning, you know, but it just kills me. Think that she's not gonna be playing with dolls and making her jokes and whatever. So it's stages in life, but we can definitely make time, because being a dad is one thing, but being a father is another thing.
Yeah.
Being there is one thing, but being present is something else.
Yep.
So by being present is what makes a change.
That took so much out of me to understand through the process. I have four kids. My oldest 23, and my youngest is a year. Yeah.
What, 23?
Yeah, I have 3 grandkids, brother. Yeah, I have 3 grandkids.
What? Dang, I didn't know.
I have 3 grandkids. Yeah, there's Papi Voz. I went from being Papi Voz to Big Papi Voz now. You know, that's how we roll. And that was one of the things that I grew up believing, that what meant to be a good father was to work yourself to death for your kids and for your family. But then you sacrifice the time, the connection, getting to know who they are and everything like that. And in our case, right? In our case, and your case, in my case, well, brother, I'm going to thank you, and I'm going to thank us for becoming the fathers that we never had.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're facing and we're taking the world on and changing and breaking generational barriers, cultural barriers, ignorance barriers, which is the biggest one of all.
Yeah.
Ignorance barriers, right? And there's even one bigger than the ignorance barrier. The blindness. When we choose to be blind to the reality of the outcome of our actions, of the outcome of not spending enough time with our family, of the outcome of what's going to happen, what's going to have an effect on my kid's life 15 years from now, and what I'm actually responsible for, what I could have done to change or not change. You know? And you're taking care of business. You're taking care of business in every single way, and it has become a full circle. So brother, it's an honor to have you here at the IAmVoz podcast.
Thank you. It was my honor. My honor was mine, and the honor was mine. Honestly, thank you for asking those questions, because sometimes we don't think about those questions when we're alone. And then when somebody else sees it from the outside, actually, helps you see something else that you haven't seen, or learn from your own words too, because as I'm saying things, I realize that that's just what I'm feeling. I'm not just saying it to say it. That's what actually is registered within my heart. And that's why I'm speaking, So thank you for having me, man.
Oh, this is just episode 1, brother. This is, not actually episode 1, literally. But this is just the first time that you're going to be here, because we have a lot to share, brother. I'm going to keep inviting you.
Yeah.
I'm a professional spammer, for those of you who don't know. So I'm very good.
He called it.
I sent you like between the last 2 weeks to get you here, I sent you maybe like 10 messages already.
Yeah. What I like from you is that last night you didn't ask how I was. You just say, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'll be here. And I was like, I'll be there.
No, because I know last time we were supposed to record, you were feeling a little under the weather. You were really sick, actually. And this week you're like, I'm feeling better, I'm good, we're gonna go and everything. Hopefully I'm feeling completely better by Thursday. So I didn't want to bring no bad juju in, bro.
You're like, hey, see you tomorrow.
Hey, by the way, tomorrow here's the address. I can't wait to see you,
man. I'm glad you called me, because obviously it's always good to have a talk. We had a good talk with previous to the podcast to start. But then we had a good talk right now, so I appreciate that, man.
No problem, brother. And to close today's episode, I do want to thank Koli Studio for having us. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for doing the amazing work that you're doing in the community. Stay tuned. Make sure you go to colistudios.com to get all the information on building your casita. There's so many people, so many stories. Follow us on social media, Koli Studios. Just follow, look for Koli Studios, and you're going to start seeing these stories, the real stories, real people with real dreams, real values, bringing this together and bringing in quality work. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to Luis Medina for being here. What an amazing story, brother. I can't wait to have you back. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get tons of questions, and I can't wait to have a Q&A session.
Nice.
Q&A session. This is all the questions we got about the last podcast, and people want to know this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And as you guys know, I also do real estate. So if you want to buy or sell or investing, if you just need help, have questions, reach out to me, because I love to educate people on the subject. I love to do what I do, just like everything. I love to do what I do. If you have any questions, any doubts, Unity, we are here to help you. IAmVoz.com. Get all the information. Luis, where can people find you on social media? How can they follow you?
They can find me on Instagram and TikTok. All my social media is the same. Luis Milan P. P as in productions, but I made it short. Luis Milan P. And then on my website, uscreatorsmedia.com, basically. And yeah. That's how they can find me, man. You can message me, ask me a question, whatever. I literally reply almost to everybody.
He does. He really did. He replied to me 10 times in the last 2 weeks. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here at the IAmVoz podcast, because you could have been anywhere else in the world. But no, you're here listening, watching, feeling, living, breathing this podcast right now. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm DJ Voz, and I approve this message.
Hey, let's go.
Be whoever you want to be.